So what are your thoughts on the extension model, and kind of more importantly, what should be core functionality, and what should be an extension?
That's an interesting question. I mean, if you again start with Eclipse, it was extensions all the way down, right?
Mhm.
It starts with a system for plugins, and then you add a UI as a plugin, etc., etc. And there's just a very simple, minute core. And if you go, but time has shown that this doesn't scale so well because you just pile on, pile on, pile on, right? You have no control over
Mhm.
what you want to be fast and tight. And with VS Code, I think they had a pretty good. They kind of addressed the problem by putting all the language stuff outside of the IDE, keeping the IDE fast, etc., and they're under control.
Mhm.
But I think with Thea, it's actually a bit of best of both worlds because you can do everything you do in VS Code with the extensions, language server, etc. But you also have the with the dependency injection system, you can actually write your own IDE and override pretty much any part of the IDE. There's also a system to filter out contributions if you want to get rid of menus, views, etc. Or if you want to do something completely different. For example, in Che, we're running the plugin system is different. We have not one plugin host, we have n plugin hosts that run on different containers.
Mhm.
And I mean, you could fork VS Code and do the same thing, but then you'll have a fork, and nobody at Microsoft will care about breaking you, right? Whereas with Thea, it's a community project, and there are hooks that where you can do almost anything, and
Mhm.
people are aware that these are hooks that people might override. So I think in that respect, Thea is actually superior to VS Code.
Yeah.
Yeah. One extra thing maybe to mention is with the language server protocol, you can add extensions to support multiple languages in your IDE, be it VS Code or Thea based. And so long as you program in one language, let's say you open a C file, only that language server will be spinned up. And you can have 10 other languages supported in your IDE, but they will remain idle, or they will not even be started unless you give a reason for them to be. So it will behave exactly the same as a pure C IDE so long as you just do C programming in that multi-language IDE. And same for any language.